Please take a look at the picture. And what was I doing here? I would sit in a row with a bunch of teenagers, guiding them to see through their lifelines. And then imagine the 7, 17, 27 to 77 years old themselves speak from the futures to the past. And guess what happened here? The girl who is acting as the 27-year-old lady talked to the 17s. Oh, I hope you can escape and just get independent from your family as soon as possible. And then the 47-year-old boy told the 37. I know there's a lot of setbacks happening in your futures and in your past, but please express gratitude to everything that happened to you. And then the 7-year-old girls just look up and speak to the future self. I think that I really want more freedom in the future, and I hope that my family will not limit me anymore. This kind of social experiment of mine is stemmed from a previous conversations. In my 8th grade, I received a question from a 12-year-old girl. Alina, I found it difficult to find the meaning of my efforts and the so-called personal growth. And my parents just don't care about my thoughts and the real me. What can I do? I feel more and more confused. And I just think that life is really meaningless. And this really reminded me of my discussions with my parents on the dinner table about the causes of the conflicts in the modern society. With the advance in the social and the information age and our increasing academic pressure, the generation gaps make it difficult for parents to understand how to support the children with their self-esteem and intrinsic motivation. Therefore, to make positive changes, I have made 2 steps forward. The first step of me is due to these external nudges rather than those proactive plans. So isolation due to the COVID actually exacerbated the problems. And I have been surrounded by questions like the girls. Why can children put down their mobile phones? Why the second child in their families always feel just being mistreated? And why do parents' good intentions finally lead to conflicts? Similar confusions were being echoed by my peers and juniors and parents more and more. So learning social psychology and positive psychology, I realized that all of this actually points to an intangible presence, lack of connection and empathetic relationships. I recall that as a child, when my playmate used to just throw paper scraps at me and stick those negative words on my forehead, if at that time I had a pretty experienced and pretty supportive guide who could provide me with a more comprehensive perspective, I could have learned how to express myself and handle the situation better. A third eye of the kids and teenagers in need, I thought, could be especially helpful when adults are the best to confess to. So, equipped with those listening skills and sharing techniques I developed during my psychology summer camps, I was able to be a student and teaching assistant for 7 years. And I was able to help my peers to develop their own better relationships with their parents, with their peers, and with themselves. I became the third eye for many. From workshops to group sharing and from salons to individual counseling, I was able to be having the greatest privilege to be the third eye for many teenagers, dealing with their relationship problems, such as a boy who engaged in physical conflict with his father even made a call to the police at midnight, a straight-A student who just cried out of control in public when talking about her father's stifling control, and also a second children in the family who, when confessing feelings of depression to her parents, received the response, "Don't be so weak. Why can't you handle such simple situations?" No person is an island. Unlike adults who can just choose to distance from people they dislike, teenagers are embedded in their core families and parents. They need someone who is removed from the situation to listen attentively and respond empathetically. By being their third eye, I knew I was making a difference. Steadily in their life, I have shifted the mindset of, why did things happen to me, to how can I resolve these problems? In this way, I decided to take another step forward. The message of being the third eye needs to be heard widely. As a representative of the teenage group, I initiated a teen growth group project, inviting college students who major in psychology to join me. And today, we have a team. We placed chairs in a U-shaped classroom during focus group discussions to facilitate sharing of our stories on various relationships problems, effective methods provided by experts, backed by scientific research. So for example, we discussed the insights behind wild horse endings, which help us become a capable third eye for other people. Wild horse ending refer to abrupt or unexpected endings in our emotional situations. They often leave individuals feeling pretty confused and also unresolved. In this situation, we can take the following steps. First, pause and reflect. Take a moment to pause and reflect on your emotion. Embrace your negative feelings without any judgments. And second, identify triggers. Try to identify the roots and the underlying causes of your wild horse ending situation. And third, practice self-awareness. Cultivate your self-awareness by paying attention to your thoughts, feelings, and your physical responses and sensations that shape in your emotion landscape. And fourth, communicate effectively. Engage in open and honest communication. Express your concerns calmly and assertively with I statement. And fifth, seek support. Reach out to trusted friends, family members, or professionals for objective guidance in order to navigate through your emotional turmoil. This corroborates my third eye view. And sixth, practice self-care. Pay attention to your physical and mental well-being. Engage in activity that can improve your resilience, relaxation, and fulfillment. This methodology has proven to be one of the most effective among new beginners. Exploring the uncertainty surrounding wild horse endings, discussion aids us, as a third eye helper, in gaining deeper insight into teenage behaviors and problems. For instance, the shift to online classes and entertainment during the COVID pandemic became a catalyst for increased problems between parents and children. In China, depression among those under 18s actually accounted for 30% of the diagnosed population, and 1 in 4 women has experienced domestic violence. How to communicate peacefully in family with gasoline in their veins, and maintain intrinsic motivation and immense entertainment temptation, and actively seek help when anxiety attacks. These issues became pretty common, and I realized that under these problems, teenagers need to have intrinsic motivation to change themselves and change others, rather than just faking good behaviors while being watched by their parents, like this little kid. And now I invite all of you to put your hands on the position of your hearts and thinking about your identity, feeling who you are, what you're seeking for, what your community is, and thinking about what your intrinsic motivation is seek for. So social identity influences our intrinsic motivation by offering a sense of belonging, purpose, and self-esteem. When people identify with a group like our family or school or our community, they tend to adopt its values, norms, and also goals. For example, consider a teenager identified deeply to their school's honor society. This connection actually fuels their inner drive to excel academically and participate in community service projects. Why? Because they see these endeavors as crucial to upholding their identity as a high-achieving and standout students and a valuable member of the honor society. On the other hand, those lacking a strong social identity or alignment with the group's goals may experience weaker motivations. Without a personal connection, they might struggle to engage in activity that don't resonate with their sense of self or feeling meaningless personally. Similarly, if parents want their kids to reach their expectation, first, they need to make their children actually agree with and identify with the family, rather than feeling repelled or despised by other family members. So in this way, in order to pass on such knowledges and skills and my own personal stories, I translated animated videos based on the latest international psychology research And for 7 years, filmed family meeting videos with my parents. In my family meetings at different stages of my teenage life, my parents and I practiced a lot of equal communication, compromising each other, and help others to build up a better relationship in our U-shaped classroom at home. So the video sparked great empathy and led to changes in many family relationships around us. Those videos represent me as the third eye for many. From lending an ear to listen to the emotion and negative stories of those around me, to funding Teen Growth Project and assisting hundreds of families in solving their relationships, I have taken gradual steps toward a brighter future. I would like to ask all of you to join me to become the third eye for teenagers. And now we can put an eye sign like this, with the eye like this and the eyelashes upon it. When something pretty depressing or anxious happens, we can just see through this third eye and just find out, oh, there's actually a third perspective to see our problems. And then we can just find a brand new views to see our issues, relationships, and more importantly, see ourselves. And together, we can lend a helping hand to those really in need, to be other people's third eye, and also assisting others work toward the future where parents and children and everyone can enjoy their fulfilling relationships. And now I'm inviting you to hold a hand with your neighbor. 现在我希望大家可以握住自己的手，或者握住旁边人的手，然后告诉自己 You are never alone. Thank you.